What up, SNA Assassinators? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. And wham, what a very intriguing go-home show of Dynamite that was, booked by Mr. Anthony Khan, your favorite wrestling promoter in all the PW. And this is the Dynamite review on November 20th, 2024. And yeah, what show that I can say, like, we got a very well invested main event, but the ending, like, it just don't make any sense. Like, even though they probably not trying to make it too obvious, I can agree on that. But we could have at least it could have gotten the one that's probably not going to be winning in the main event of this Saturday should have at least got some kind of an upper hand in some capacity. And also, we got a debut of the latest AEW signings, which they should have waited until he made his debut made his in-ring debut when he faces his first opponent on AEW. Like, even though it's going to be his debut pay-per-view, but it should have been his debut match as well. We also got a backstage cameo with Mr. What's his name? Big Boom AJ. I believe that's what his name is. Yeah, Big Boom AJ, which is a very famous TikToker, will take on QT Marshall, which we're gonna be talking about later on. And we have a sign that we could be seeing some justice being served this Saturday on one of the most important matches in all of Full Gear, I should say. But let's explore what just happened. Started off with, which was an 8-man tag match with Ricochet, Will Ospreay, Mark Davis, and Will Hobbs, I guess you could say, or Will Powerhouse Hobbs. But anyway, they took on the Don Callis family of Konosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, Lance Archer, and Brian Cage, in this 8-man tag match. I'll say not the best match, almost got to that point, but it got the silver trophy of the night, which I'm giving it right now, if you can see it without being imaginary. But anyways, this match definitely was needed, on the show, to open up the show. And even if it wasn't a middle card, I would not have mind it being on there, because they probably would have gotten the match that would make sense to be on the opener. And it still would have gotten the silver trophy. This is where they got the thing started, where the baby faces running right to the Don Callis family. And this is where they start throwing fists on the two. Will Ospreay, you know who he's going to go to. And it was Kyle Fletcher. He sent him right to the upper left side. And this is where he ripped off his pants, and then underneath it was some wrestling tights. It looks similar to the wardrobe malfunction that Angel Garza used to do, which I kind of missed him doing that. That's what probably got him over is the top the top other company star, I should say. But it's where we got Mark Davis and Brian Cage on the upper right side. It's where we got things started off with, I would say, Konosuke Takeshita attacks Mark Davis is where things got started with them. It's where we got the Alpha and current international champion go for a headlock onto Mark Davis. This is where he was trying to flip right out of it, counter, and this is where then he started fighting back, started punching right in the midsection. This is where we got and dipping Konosuke right to the left side, to the right side. This is where then he tried to shoulder tackle Mark Davis. Mark Davis like, oh, you think that's going to bring me down? I'll show you something that you should to bring me down with, with a little advice, if he's his own version of Chris Jericho. He ran right to the left side, shoulder tackles him, but this is where we got Konosuke Takeshita. Then the Alpha Konosuke Takeshita go for a shoulder tackle onto him. This is where he bounced right into the left side. This is where we got the Mark Davis you think that's gonna bring me down? I'll show you something to bring me down. This is where we got him getting slide duck on. This is where he went to the right side. This is where we got Konosuke Takeshita go for a slide duck. This is where he tried to go for this is where he tried to go try to leap right over him, try to go for some kind of maneuver, but it's where he gets picked up. He gets body dropped along with a senton by the former IWGP and New Japan Strong Tag Team Champion. This is where Ricochet's tag me in. This is where he tags in the one and only. This is where Ricochet's all right, let's go. This is where he runs to the right side. He pulling down the rope. Ricochet goes for a cartwheel flip right onto the heels, the Alpha at least. But this is where we got Brian Cage. Hits a running away clothesline onto Mark Davis. This is where we got This is where we got Brian Cage and threw Ricochet, make him flippy do dive right into the ring post face first. This is where Will Ospreay came in and saved the day. Hit the swift kick right into the face. This is where we got Ospreay like, yeah, like, I got something else for you, bruv. And then this is where then he goes for a moonsault, but this is where his current arch enemy and former protege Kyle Fletcher got to come in and meddle and tamper with him, start hitting some right hands and trying to knock him off the top rope. But he's like, nah, I have a better idea. How about I go for some kind of avalanche maneuver? But he's like, but first I'm start make sure you are down so he won't be countering. Maybe it was a smart move, maybe not, because he started elbowing him right in the back and he did it a bit too long. This is where Powerhouse Hobbs came in. After he let go of Will Ospreay, he went down to the corner. This is where we got, this is where Powerhouse Hobbs like, how about I do something like that to me? Because he is like 10 times bigger than Kyle Fletcher. This is where he tried to chop him, which he didn't phase nothing. This is where Powerhouse Hobbs like, oh really? Like that? He's like you slap more weaker than your girlfriend, which is Sky Blue, of course. Like he was like, I would have been impressed if Sky Blue did that. This is where he slapped him right to his chest, like, oh, hit him hard with the chest, right into the chest. This is where we got Powerhouse Hobbs try to go for a suplex onto Kyle Fletcher, but this is where he gets dragged down by Lance Archer. This is where Lance Archer just started hitting some right hands to the face onto the former TNT champion. This is where then they put his right leg right into, which I believe that, because I think he got injured with that knee before, but this is where he tried to use it to try to put him back on the shelf with that. But this is where, and that's where we got Lance Archer nearly crushed it with that steel steps, but this is where Powerhouse Hobbs was preventing him and hitting him with right hand. And maybe he wouldn't have got his knee squashed if it wasn't for Lance Archer's brother, Brian Cage, not really brother, but Don Callis' family brother, I should say. It was Brian Cage throwing, who was it? Was it Will Ospreay right onto Will Hobbs' leg? Like, oh, and he was like, like my knee, like I think it's worse than the last time it was injured. This is where we got Brian Cage was like, yeah, like so that's where he started kneeing Will Ospreay right in the head. This is where Lance Archer grabbed Ricochet. This is where then he tried to go like throw him right back in the ring, the one and only flip, like if he was a human rolling pin. But this is where then we got Lance Archer got in the ring with the one and only. This is where, and he Irish whips him right into him. This is where he tried to go for a sidewalk slam, but he turns it into like what's that called? Like a murder hawk what's that edge drop? But this is where Ricochet flipped right out of it, started kicking him right to the side. But this is where we got the paramedics then came out and walked Powerhouse Hobbs right into the doctor's room. But that was only at the moment, because let's just say we're going to see him again, but later on in the match. But yeah, this is where we got Ricochet trying to go for a discus clothesline. But this is where we got Lance Archer trying to go for a choke slam, but Ricochet pops that up into a Hurricane Rana. This is where then he was like, come on, like Lance, like this is where he springboards, goes for what they call a shoulder tackle, but this is where he gets clobbered by Lance Archer. This is where Lance Archer hit a right hand to the face onto Mark Davis. This is where we got Will Ospreay try to go for a springboard, but this is where we got Lance Archer going for a hip toss right into the left side. This is where we got Lance Archer like, yeah, like nobody's not no match with the Murder Hawk, especially Powerhouse Hobbs, because since he's out, this is going to be more easier than I expected it to be. And then this is where then he's like, now who wants to be my victim of taking a pin? This is where then we got Ricochet's like, well, I don't want to be, but I will make you mine. And this is where then he tried to make him his victim by cross-buying him, but this is where he gets caught with a right hand. We're into a choke slam. This is where we saw Ricochet gets choke slam right onto Mark Davis and Will Ospreay, which that's his tag partners of the night. This is where then Lance Archer showed his mean, evil, and his frightening side by yeah. And that's what you get when you come against the Murder Hawk monster. And then this is where then he tags in his Don Callis family brother. This is where what they took over and started annihilating Ricochet. This is where he tagged in what's his name? Kyle Fletcher. This is where then he hit him face first right into the turnbuckle on the bottom right side. And this is where they start the tag teaming, like take turns of brutalizing the poor former Intercontinental Champion. This is where then we got But this is where we got Ricochet managed to flip right out of it. I'm forgetting who was the guy that was a legal man, but he managed to give the hot tag to his longtime rival, now new ally, Will Ospreay. This is where he started making some moves, started making his comeback known. This is where then he did a double team 3D kind of similarity cutter to what's his name, to like the power, the super super power move, Cutter, I believe that's what it's called, with Mark Davis picking him up like into a power slam position. And this is where Ospreay caught him with a cutter, like boom, and knocked out Konosuke Takeshita. This is where he nearly got the 3, but Konosuke got the shoulder up at 2.8. Well, Ospreay's like, oh, come on. But you know what? Like, I have a better idea anyways. Like, here's where they tried to go for his pump handle, what they call spin around body slam. This is where we got they got double ambushed by both Lance Archer and what's his name? Lance Archer. This is where they attacked him from behind. This is where they both collected both men in respectively. This is where we got Ospreay to try to counter out of Brian Cage. This is where he closed on him. The machine ducks out of it, did a back to belly position with Lance Archer booting him in the face so he can hit a German suplex, hit their power move. This is where we got Mark Davis trying to come in and help his United Empire teammate. This is where he gets outnumbered as well. This is where we got a ripcord forearm strike by Brian Cage. This is where he picks. This is where then he picks him up right into like a F10 position in his shoulders and the fireman's carry. This is where we got Lance Archer got him up in the DDT. So they did a F10 DDT double team combination maneuver right into the head of Mark Davis, sending him right to the right side. This is where Brian Cage's like 2 down and only 1 more to go. This is where, but this is where then or 3 down, let me rephrase that, because don't forget Powerhouse Hobbs, but he got taken into the paramedic. That's what they thought, though. But this is where they picked up Will Ospreay. This is where they picked him up for Konosuke Takeshita to hit that worst maneuver in all the pro wrestling that will never get a win by pinfall, other than Sami Zayn in Saudi Arabia. But that's a different video for a different day. But yeah, it was the Blue Thunder Bomb once again. And yeah, Simon must have been shaking his head, like saying, like, when will that samurai bastard will not? I mean, when will that samurai bastard will learn? I should say, yeah, that's what he looking at him like, with him holding his prestigious Proteus Championship that's on his right arm, or right shoulder. Let me rephrase that, like you normally do, like on his videos. Shout out to my boy Simon J. Miller. But anyways, yeah. But this where then, right after we got Konosuke Takeshita's like, forget what the bald a-hole said. This where then he hit the maneuver. This where he goes for the pin. Referee count to 1, they count to 2. But Ospreay got the shoulder up at the last second of 2.9999999. Double true, I might as well point away from being 3. And my biased ass was saying, aha, like, yeah, like I knew that was not going to work. Like, you should have been listening to my boys, SJM. But anyways, this is where we got then we got Kyle Fletcher, then got tagged in by the Alpha. This is where then he boots Ricochet outside and back in the left side of the ringside area. When Ricochet tried to come in to save Will Ospreay, but he gets pushed right back out. Kyle Fletcher, then they're like, this is gonna be a preview, and you think that you're gonna assassinate me, Will? Like, I don't think so. And then this is where. And that's why he started provoking him, started pushing him right in his head, right into Will Ospreay's own corner, right to the upper left side. This where started stomping on him, right. This is where we got Kyle Fletcher. We can even give him a chance. This is where we got Will Ospreay to got that as confidence. Some confidence boosts to get back up and try to tag him in, but this is where we got Konosuke Takeshita's hoarding rear end and start holding on to Will Ospreay. This is where Will Ospreay try to hit some forearm strikes right into the face. This is where we got this is where Konosuke Takeshita trying to close on the aerial assassin, but this is where we got Ospreay ducked out of it. This is where he goes for a hot tag to Will Hobbs. This is where Powerhouse Hobbs will start going for a close on right on a couple of times, right onto the Alpha. This is where he hits he flips over, what's his name, Kyle Fletcher to a hip toss, but this is where he did not pay attention that Konosuke Takeshita got tagged in by Lance Archer. He came in, turned him around, kneed him right section, and his brother Brian Cage was there. They had a double suplex right onto Powerhouse, but it seemed like that was impossible for them to do so, even though it's 2 of them and only 1 of him. But it didn't even matter because he probably is more stronger than them 2 combined. This is where then we got Powerhouse Hobbs nearly hit a double suplex on his own, but if it wasn't for his right knee, he probably would have did so. And both Brian and Lance knew this, and they double kneed him right in the midsection. This is where they dipped him right to the top corner rope, did the bottom. But this is where he ends up double close. He's like, I seem like y'all all want some, huh? Like, this is where he start giving each one from each corner from the bottom right it's time to finish him. This is where he did pull a Randy Orton comeback move onto Lance Archer by power slamming him right when he's coming to do the ropes. This is where knee strike, but this is where we got what's his name? A gut wrench pile driver, actually. Which said the first, which it stunned and shocked all the commentators, including Daddy Magic Matt Menard. He was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm afraid so, man." Like, yeah, that. Well, I guess the first time I saw this before, too, as well. And this is where we got him nearly got the 3 if it wasn't for his meddling former teammate and brother, Kyle Fletcher, even though it's not really his brother, but you get what I'm trying to say. But this is where we got, Kyle Fletcher then started hitting some strikes onto what's his name? Onto Mark Davis, but I'm at him and scolding him for no reason. Like, this is where Mark Davis then was very ticked off, and this is where he then was like, "You're really doing this to me." Like, this is where the straw that broke the camel's back when he slapped him across his face when he was done. This is where then Mark Davis made him regret that when he speared him right to the ground, right strike and seal the deal. This is where we got Kyle Fletcher then duck out of the way. This was so damn heavy. But this is where we got Will Ospreay to go for a springboard forearm strike. But I go for this, even the way he said that, like that was the Eddie Kingston impression, like I always say. But this is where we got Will Ospreay then come here, Kyle. Like, this is where Kyle Fletcher then finally got in the ring. This is where this is where they start going at it, like start playing wrestling tennis with their forearms right into each other's faces. And this is where then Excalibur took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, this is the sneak peek preview of what's to come this Saturday at AEW Full Gear. And then this is where then we got Kyle Fletcher to try to go for a close. But he gets backslided, super kicked right into the face by Ospreay. And Ospreay then flip right out of it, hits a power by Kyle Fletcher, kicks him right to the face. This is where we got accepted Kyle with a Spanish fly out. He tried to go for the hidden blade on the Kyle Fletcher, but it ended up with what's his name? When Kyle Fletcher moved out of the way, and he hits the other United Empire member, the former United Empire member, and still allied, like Mark Davis, instead on accident. Like, boom! I was like, "Oh no! Like, this is very horrible." Like, and this is where I started thinking, like, "Don't tell me what's gonna be happening this Saturday after this huge mistake." But yeah, this is where like he accidentally knocks out what's his name? Mark Davis, not Kyle Fletcher, because he was trying to get him, but he actually hit Davis instead on mistake and by accident. But this is where we got Kyle Fletcher took advantage of this moment, super kicks Will Ospreay right into the right side. This is where then he hits a suicida right onto him, knocking him right into Alan the announce table. This is where they got the Alpha Konosuke Takeshita took off his knee pad to expose the knee, and this is where he kneed him squared into the face of Mark Davis after getting hit with the hidden blade. He gets the this is where Konosuke then help the Don Callis family get the 1, 2, 3, and the winner of this match. Yeah, the 4 of these two, I'll say obnoxious heels, the best term to use at this time. But yeah, this is where they start celebrating with each other, like with them raising their hands. This is where the Kyle Fletcher's like, "This Saturday night is gonna be mine," and this is where I was like, "Yeah, right." Like something just tells me, like him winning, and then you can see that Will Ospreay win. But this is where we can see a shocking twist of the event, like with somebody that's close to him could possibly turn on him, which I'm not gonna mention it until like on my review video on AEW Rampage. Since AEW Collision is not going to be on, I'm like, yes, sir, ma'am, I will be doing a AEW Full Gear review. Not review. AEW. I already mentioned that. I meant to say an AEW Full Gear predictions segment, like after I make the AEW, after I review AEW Rampage, the go home edition of that show. But let me know in the comments who's your predictions, by the way. But I'm going to tell you more about like who could turn on Will Ospreay after his match against what's the name, Konosuke Takeshita. But I'm gonna But just wait until the next 2 days, and I will gladly tell you that. But moving on forward, we got John Moxley. This is where then we got John Moxley then was in the back room talking about one thing. This was like I'm moving a serpent lurking in the darkest corner of the battlefield, like and starting to sound other crazy stuff. This was like, but he was like, like this match is gonna remain the same, like in the results, and Saturday night's gonna remain the same, like. Like you may be a sociopath, you may be a great guy. Just like everybody, I just don't care. I'll tell you you're a great guy. Like I don't care. Championship match, hands in the balance. Like you are gonna be threatened to my people. And he was like, and I will destroy you and take all the juice and dispose it into the Cincinnati drain. And I was like, please don't let that happen, Orange. Like, please. And this is where then and this is where John Moxley started making Claudio speak something in his native language of Swiss. This is where then he starts saying it, which I'm not sure what exactly meant to say, but I think it's something not good for Darby, like which we've seen them fought tonight, and they did a very cool what that performance like in the ring, like which it gets the third place spot along with the Kristen versus the Hikaru Shida match, which we're going to be talking about very shortly. And this is where then Darby was like, let's not forget that you Claudio was the one that put the chair on the Bryan Danielson's neck and ended his career. And he was like, and every single members of the Death Rider is going to have their name written on y'all's tombstone. And Claudio, like, today is going to be your day for a start. And I was like, yeah, Claudio better be careful because if he isn't, because he probably be in his tombstone like soon enough. But this is where we got the match up next. Like, or no, not up next. I mean, I'm talking about in the next couple of matches from now, like, but who do you think that was going to be winning this match? Let me know in the comment section right down below. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment, but this is where we got the announcement of the start in Chicago on November 27th, 2024, which will be the first round of the Continental Classic tournament, like on next week's episode of Dynamite, of course, to see who's going to be going one-on-one with the bitch man and the rainmaker, the man that thinks he can control the weather, Kazuchika Okada, like for his Continental Championship at World's End. And who do you think that may be? Whoever it is unfortunately definitely not going to be Speedball Mike Bailey. But anyways, this is what we got. And sorry about that, Mike. I had to be the one to say it. Like I'm just saying, like it may not happen unless we can see him debuting either next week or maybe like in a Rampage or Collision afterwards, or maybe the Dynamite after that. You never know what can happen. I mean, you should never say never, but I'm just looking at how I see it. So I'm just gonna say like that's probably not gonna be happening. But this is where we got the next match, like right here, which I believe was. Next match. It was a segment actually first. Then it was a match. But it was my boy Adam Cole, baby, who was telling the story on the microphone, which he asked like, "Who wants to hear Adam Cole, baby?" This word and. That's where then he did the boom Adam Cole, baby. Like once he got in the ring, this is where then he didn't ask who wants to hear the story. This is where then fans are saying, we do. And this is where, as much as I would like to agree with fans, I don't like to agree with this one. You're going to see why in just a moment, like for two reasons. But we're going to, I'll say especially reason number one, but never mind that for now. I'm just going to talk about like this segment, which for some reason they want to cheer this guy. I mean, he is a baby face, but that's probably the only reason why with the gullible asses. But I'm not going to say too much insults. Like, I'm just saying, like, in genuine, like, reasons. Like I'm just not sure what's these fans, like. But anyways, what Adam Cole is like, well, this was like as much as I did say like I want to get my hands on Maxwell Jacob Freeman like this Saturday at Full Gear. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing that. Like MJF did everything in his power to make sure that he don't have to fight me in the ring, right? Fight me in this or in the ring in Newark, New Jersey. Like that's getting ready. Like and not like nothing disrespect to you guys, but just saying. But yeah, like this word then he said like but. But that's what he's like. But you like, he's like, and he did. MJF did everything in his power to prevent me from fighting him this Saturday. And he damn sure got that wish, like making sure that I'm out for this Saturday's pay-per-view. And that's where then he was like, but like there is a guy that's gonna be taking on this obnoxious demon. That is my boy, like, and my longtime best friend Roderick Strong. That's where then MJF's like. And this word then he said, like, and Roddy wants the exact same like goal, and that is to give MJF the ass whooping of a lifetime that he deserved. And then that's what exactly what's gonna happen this Saturday at Full Gear. I think all that stuff is gonna be happening except for him taking the dub, unfortunately. But and nobody did not mention this particular wrestler's name, but it's the guy that he's also been longtime best friends with, and that's my other boy, the one of the members of the conglomeration, and also possibly a family member of the auto store, like that you all know is O'Reilly's, or like I would call the man that was coming out here to talk to Adam Cole. It was Kyle O'Reilly Auto Parts, and then. And then that is where then he came out to tell him the truth, like as much as he would like to say plenty of positive things. Like, and this was, and this is the exact same city that they wrestled in a match together. Like in this very particular city that I'm not a huge fan of. It's just one of the cities of Pennsylvania. Anyways, where Kyle O'Reilly did say I want to say something that's 100% factual. Like in this thing with MJF that you have, like, is it got to end before somebody gets hurt in the friendship group. And where then Adam Cole's like, what do you mean? And this is where then Kyle O'Reilly's like, yeah, I know it's an obsession that you gotta wash your hands with, like, and your ankle's been reconstructed. What's next in the situation? Like you got some friends that's willing to take a bite and a bullet for you, and even myself included, but you gotta stop, stop as an endless, as soon as it's possible, or else one of your friends get hurt. And it was and what happened if a big mistake happens to Roderick Strong this Saturday, and he barely made it out alive last week in his final match to guaranteed him a shot at MJF in a match this Saturday, and this where then he's and it was and that man do not want to just fight MJF. No, he also wants to end MJF once and for all. Because of you, man. And I don't have a good feeling about this, Adam. And this is what Adam Cole responded back. Kyle, what the hell are you trying to say right now? Are you trying to say you don't think Roddy can even handle this MJF problem on his own? And it's where Kyle O'Reilly's you don't think that MJF is 3 steps ahead of you on this, Adam? And then Adam being quiet, and he was very convinced about that, about this very factual statistic. This is where then Kyle O'Reilly continued by saying, have you seen him not pulling everyone's strings? This is where then he's you should know, if you know what MJF is but he plays with fire, there's so many others are willing to go for war for you, because you're a leader of ours, you are an elite professional wrestler, and then you're a leader, elite professional wrestler, and you're a true friend. And I don't want to see a true fan getting hurt like this. So that's why I'm trying to give you some advice before it comes to the reality. And that's where then Kyle O'Reilly then also informed Roderick Strong this Saturday. Maybe one of them could be a former Undisputed Kingdom member that we haven't seen in months, which we all know who he is. He's a big guy. He's compared to the legendary pro wrestler and actor Dave Bautista, but we're going to talk about water brainwashing Cincinnati native, and that is John Moxley. And then this is where the Orange Cat's I'm gonna walk out of that ring, and I'm gonna end you, and I'm gonna beat the boat. Hold on, what's going on, Orange? This is where then Mark Briscoe goes, and it was you. Are you sure you're gonna beat both of them all alone? You heard Moxley what he said before. There's all 5 of them and only one of you, bro. And then this where dude's we got your back, man. Don't forget about your conglomeration, boys. And then this where then we got what the.
They trying to screw me.
And this where then Rasuka Romero's yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's right here.
I don't know. I just want to show William. I just want to get the Liberty Mutual letters out of there.
Hi, SNA. Me, baby.
This it?
Yeah.
Sorry about this. Messed up.
Okay, there's one. What's the other one? my Liberty Mutual letters. That's why I never, and I can show those to a lawyer. They go like, you got a legit case. Is that it? Yeah, this is it.
Okay.
You put all that back.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
I'm not gonna lose these letters. I'm gonna bring them right back. That's why I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We got you back into the very end, and this where then we got Mark Briscoe's like, yeah, and this where he's like, yeah, like we like you need us. And this where the Orange Cassidy took offense to that, and he's like, all right, like I'm asking you, like you don't have to believe me, my boys, and you don't have to understand me, conglomerate. Please, like, promise me you stay away. Like, and it's where it was probably a regrettable this tonight. It's where then Mark Briscoe's like, okay, like as much as I like to help you right now, like along with other boys, like, but if you insist, like we'll step out of the way and let you do what you gotta do. And he's like, so be it. But that's where we got the I'll say very horrendous match of the night. No, I'm just kidding. It was the third place bronze trophy of the night. Not trying to dog on this match, but it just that the opener and the main event was just a bit more intriguing and invested, like in more entertaining just a bit. But yeah, that's because there it was like more of a rivalry match, even though this was a rivalry match, but it was like a high stakes, like who's gonna like everybody's hoping wondering who's gonna be the winners and losers between Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher and Jon Moxley and Hikaru Shida. This is where I'm very mad at Hikaru Shida right now, but I'm gonna tell you guys just a moment after this match why I'm mad at the Japanese Ninja. This is where we got. That's where we got both women that start spinning around, go for a grapple. This is where they got their guns up, like with them, like swinging hard. Who's going to win this grappling war? I believe it was Shida that one, but the Kristen pushed her right off. This is where she did like like this is where, and this is where then we got this is where we got Kristen Statlander going for an arm grappler onto what's her name to Hikaru Shida, but she had to go for a wrist lock into a hammer lock into Chris Statlander, then hits a couple of right hand to the back of the born again Kristen. This is where then she goes for a German suplex onto her, but this is where Kristen go for an elbow strike right to the face onto Hikaru Shida. This is where she tried to go for a German suplex, but she turned into a face plant maneuver. This is where we got Kristen Statlander picks her right up. This is where we got what's her name? Hikaru to go for an arm drag, send her right to the bottom right side. This is where we got Kristen Statlander need her right into the face where we got power bomb. But luckily we got Hikaru Shida foot right of it, so she won't be what's her name? Kristen Statlander's next victim, even though she did not have a table on her. But this is where we got her. But once Hikaru Shida got dropped down, this is where she gets her leg sweep by the born-again Kristen. This is where she goes for a moonsault, or three-time AEW champion. This is where then we got Chris Statlander sending Hikaru Shida right into the upper left side. Kristen then go for a spear, but it's where she gets the slide hurricane Ronda. But it's where we got Kristen Statlander go for a cartwheel. It's where we got the born-again Kristen go for a shoulder tackle onto the Japanese Ninja. This is where she sent it right to the right side. This is where we got the so-called strongest powerhouse in the women's division and started going for an arm stretching submission lock onto Shida. This is where we got Shida for right out of it. Turlander somehow counter out of it, hits her back kick where she went right in the outside, right into the bottom corner side. This is where then she was having a little fun. This is where Hikaru Shida drapes this is where, even though she was winning right now, but only for at the moment, is where Drake, this is where she need her right to the midsection. This is where we got, she was like, yeah, barricade the bottom right side, made her sit down, and she hits a running drop kick or a knee lift or something like that. This is where she got her back in the ring. This is where she hit her with a suplex. This is where then she started continuously doing plenty other moves of hers. This is where she didn't settle for a camel clutch kind of submission hold sleeper. This is where we get Statlander picks her right up, hits her with a backdrop right in the ring. This is where this Kristen to go for a dodge. This is where she hits a power slam right onto the form down. I mean, he calls it for battle of Kristen Statlander's maneuver, wherever the move she was about to hit, which I guess there was a Saturday Night Fever that she was trying to hit, and it was not a guarantee. This is where we got Hikaru. This is where we got Hikaru Shida. Then this is where Kristen Statlander go for a clothesline, but Hikaru Shida ducks out of the way with a kneel. This was at the forearm. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. This is where we got Hikaru Shida then trying to get some forearm strike right to the face on the board again, Kristen. This is where we got an inside cradle, but this is where Hikaru Shida countered, got back up after the kick out. This is where she knee strike Kristen right to the face. This is where she clotheslined her with that samurai maneuver. This is where we got Shida was about to hit the katana, if I'm not mistaken, which Kristen Statlander was in position, by the way, for that to get hit with that maneuver. This is where you try to go for the katana. That's why she tried to go for a spin, but this is where Kristen Statlander countered. That's where the Statlander picks her up and go for a power slam. This is where I was like, why didn't I hit it to her so quickly? But she had a conscious that the last time she did hit the maneuver, it was to the TBS champion herself. But when she tried to go for the pin, the CEO kicked out of it. So and I was like, that's the thing is, she's not Mercedes Moné. She's Kristen Statlander. So why not just try to do for it anyways? If it was, if she kicked out of it, so what? Just stop using it for a while because it's starting to be less of a convincing move that's under your arsenal of finishers. But this is where we got Kristen Statlander got back in the offense position. This is where then she go for a discus clothesline, but this is where she then countered to a backslide. This is where did she drop her down the middle of the ring. She never got 3, but she only got a 2. Even, I think, this is where we got Shida to hit the Falcon Arrow. This is where she tried to go for a pin onto the born-again Kristen, but this is where we got Kristen kicked out at 2.8. Shida couldn't even believe it. She was furious for not getting the win, but this is where we got Kristen Statlander counter out of a wrist lock that Shida was doing, which she's not sure what she was doing next. But she gets kicked in the midsection by Statlander. This is where we got Stat, then trying to run from the left side to go in the middle. But what's her name? Shida kneed her right to the face, but this is where then she did not do her homework because she totally forgot that you were not supposed to hit your signature finishing move for the second time unless you got a double whammy card. But she did not know that, and this is where you got Kristen Statlander counter out of the Falcon Arrow, try to go for one of her own, but she totally forgot that she already hit a maneuver and she did not have no whammy card to back her up with. But this is where we got Hikaru Shida to go for what they call a German suplex onto Chris Statlander. This is where then she try to go for the katana, which I'm not sure if she even performed the maneuver. But yeah, I don't think she had, but because this is where she tried to go for a spin, she gets intercepted by Chris Statlander with what they call Saturday Night's Fever, which is for some reason they want to call it the Wednesday Night Fever, which I was like, when the last time she called that maneuver? But either way, she got the win. This is where we got what's her name? Hikaru Shida, not Cheetah, Kristen Statlander, then CEO Mercedes Moné, alongside an injured, what's her name? Camille, which is her bodyguard, the Brick House. Did she start looking similar to the other women's wrestler that used to have been a women's champion herself over at the other show, which I could describe her as the Eradicator, and everybody likes calling her. I'm not sure if I should call her by her nickname, but let's say she made her return on the Monday night show in the other company with a what's that called? A nose shield protector like that the American Nightmare used to wear, which was probably lent by him to her. But Camille started to look like her with an arm brace, like how she used to wear about 6 months ago. When she had her title relinquished. This is where we got the CEO Mercedes Moné start doing their Moné ring dance. This is where we got the CEO. Then we got and this was you know what? What's fun? What's a fun fact about the comparisons between me and good old Kristen here? Kristen held it back a year ago, because she happened to beat Jay Cargill for that title at Double or Nothing a year ago for the TBS Championship, and then in November of AEW Full Gear. Then she lost it to Julia Hart in that triple threat match, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. So, yeah, I think she did. And this where she was she started chuckling right after and laughing. This is where she said, I'm not going to lose. And I was like, yeah, totally agree on that. And I hopefully she gets some justice. But anyway, this is where we got this where then she was like, you know why I'm not going to lose this? Because I am the CEO. And then this is where then she continues saying, Like I'm the best TBS champion ever. Like I made this like a world champion, which that's the facts also as well. And man, like even though she's a heel, like she just a great performer and a great promo cutter. That's very tough to remember at this ticker in order to be a very successful wrestler. But anyways, this is where we got and this is what she was like, and she will never lose the TBS title. And I was like, I hope not, especially to Kristen here. But this is where the fans start being so rude by telling her to shut the fudge unsweetened chocolate kiwi kale up, which they were not telling her to shut up and eat a candy bar that's very natural and organically unsweetened. But this is where then she started getting very angry, and I was starting to say I don't blame her because this city is trashy, just more probably more trashy than the Six. But yeah, like they're god awful. Have you seen their record lately? Yeah, not quite like the best. But this city in Pennsylvania that they were in were very, very disrespectfully rude. Even though I know the CEO of the Chiefs the Buffalo Bills against the Chiefs at Buffalo. But anyways, this is where we got that's where Camille to try to attack, but this is where she starts slowly walking in the ring, so Kristen can throw Camille out of the ring. That's where we got she continued to start fighting. What's her name? Fighting Camille right in the outside until she threw her right into the tombstone barricade right into the bottom corner side. This is where we got the CEO Mercedes Moné then try to attack Kristen Statlander from behind with a backstabber standard maneuver. I believe that's what she calls it. But yeah, this is where Chris Statlander with all her strength. I'm like how she can pick her up with her back, and this is where she flips her right over, right into a pile driver position. This is where then she hits her Saturday Night Fever that she always does to her opponents when she wins matches. This is where she holds their former title that she used to hold, which is the TBS champion. I was like, yeah, you once were the championship, but I don't think that's what's going to be happening, especially but after you doing that, now I'm confident that she's definitely not going to be winning, and that's really great news. And who knows, maybe we might see her being body slam or power bomb right through a table. If so, that's where we could get the Justice for Super Ninja Austin out of the way and start celebrating this Saturday when I make that review video. Make sure to check it out this Saturday. I will be making it. But let me know down in the comment section right down below on what your opinions about this segment. And do you think Chris Statlander been going up on top and getting the advantage over the CEO a little bit too much? Or do you think it's the right move to considering that she may not be winning the TBS championship? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. But anyways, this is where it's just where she lay it right neatly right onto her mid section that when she was in the ground. And I was like, curse this. Hopefully she does beat you, and I sure hope that she does get justice. But anyways, yeah, move on to the next slide. Let's talk about we got the Hurt Syndicate was outside. It's where it's where Bobby Lashley, before he can even speak, this is where he gets ambushed from behind by somebody in a hoodie, hit him with a right hand that had a chain around his hand. And you guessed it, it was none other than Swerve Strickland that came out of nowhere and just balled him right into the head, with a very I'll say a very agonizing weapon in all of professional wrestling. And it's where Swerve Strickland was like chuckling. He was like, two can play at this battle. And this is where then he walked out of, some kind of I'll say, I don't know what to say, a very cool payout onto this Saturday's match, since Bobby Lashley had to compete in the squash match, which that was a waste of time and a waste of a debut for the Almighty, because not everybody's gonna remember when Bobby Lashley's gonna debut with him fighting a couple of jobbers named Cheeseburger and Joe Key, if I'm not mistaken. And nothing against him, it's just that he should not be wrestling in the squash match as a debut match. Even though his pay-per-view debut is going to be this Saturday, but at the same time, it should be his overall AEW debut, no matter what. I should say, in my opinion, but the AEW decided to tackle that, and he's going to show that this Saturday. But a night that's definitely not going to be forgot about, because there's going to be some more other matches like John Moxley versus Orange Cassidy, Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher, Kristen Statlander against the CEO Mercedes Moné, and others. But that's where. But moving on forward, we got We got the squash match up ahead. But before we get into this, where we saw a backstage area, like with a young guy that looked kind of like Swerve Strickland with some dreadlocks, even though he was wearing a white hoodie, not a black one like Swerve. They thought it was him. And this is where they cornered him right into a wall. This is where he was like, I'm not swerving. This is where he's like, but this is where they start asking, where in the hell is he? And they're like, I don't know. And this is where then they tossed him right off the stairs. This is where we got the squash match, like started ahead with the Cheeseburger Key versus the Almighty in this debut match, even though it was in a memberless squash match. But still, I appreciate seeing like Bobby Lashley being recognized as like a full-time star, not a part-timer. But I bet even after the pay-per-view, after he makes that debut, his pay-per-view debut, like I still think he's gonna be wrestling in weekly shows, like whenever they schedule him in the match. Like how they did with Shelton Benjamin, like when him facing the likes of Will Ospreay, Commander with a K. I'm not Ospreay. I'm talking about Swerve Strickland, Commander with a K, Sammy Guevara, and even Leo Rush, which he's interested of joining the Hurt Syndicate. And I assume that he could join them, like, and maybe he could help out his former client, I guess you could say, over at the other company, Bobby Lashley, like, and help him defeat Swerve, like, in this one-on-one contest. But moving on, we got Bobby Lashley who's like, which one of you suckers am I gonna make? I'm gonna be making an example out of first. Is where we got Key putting him under the bus, Cheeseburger. This was like, what? I understand why he's acting like a heel when he's supposed to be a baby face. Start trying to clothesline him out of nowhere, but Bobby Lashley stopped him into a flatlining. Flatline DDT. This is where Bobby Lashley threw Joe Key out of the ring. This is where then Bobby Lashley then closed on out of the ring. This is where then he flips him right to the other side. He then gave a very cool handshake to the manager of the Hurt Syndicate. That is none other than Montel Vontavious Porter. But this is where we got the Almighty then pick up Cheeseburger. This is where they try to go for a Dominator. This is where then we got. But that's where then he flips him right over. This is where we got the Val Venus wannabe try to come in and try to hit some strikes, which he was successful at first. It's where he tried to go for some clotheslines. This is where we got this is where he tried to run right to the right side when Matt Menard started saying some true stuff about the jobber of Joe Key, which he is indeed an idiot, like what Menard just said, which I totally agree on, because like why he come in like when Bobby Lashley isn't looking, but now face him like a man. Maybe he would have spared him if he just fought him like a man. But it's where none of that matters now, because we got Bobby Lashley waiting for him to go to the right side, hit a one-clawed spine buster right in the middle of the ring. That's where Bobby Lashley gave him the spear to seal the deal. 1, 2, 3, winner of this match. Oh, no, before we got that, this is where he hits the hurt lock. This is where he won by submission that way after he speared him. This is where we got Shelton Benjamin and MVP that came in to congratulate him and celebrate with him. But this is where they got immediately interrupted by the man that has every house in every city in every state in the United States of America, and maybe outside of the North American area. And that was none other than the former AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland, when his team music started playing "Whose House?" Swerve's house. This is where then he came out. This is where he was. This is where then it was Prince Nana that was coming out with a chair. This was like, yeah, use the chair on them. But this is where don't be a coward. This is where Prince Nana did the complete opposite of what I told him to do. Even though that's not my manager, but at the same time, it's common sense. Like, what's the point of chickening out? Like when it comes to using the steel chair in professional wrestling. But this is where we got it was. But I did not know it was him luring the guy that's with Bobby Lashley into a trap, which was none other than MVP and Shelton Benjamin. But Shelton Benjamin fall for the trap. But MVP was like, look, I'm not going up there unless Swerve's up there, because like I not know like where it could be. Like he could probably be behind me, but in reality, like that was not the case. Right behind him, rather than right in front of him, because like once he had his back turned right to the back entrance side where the right side of the arena is located. This was Swerve Strickland. I said, okay, now he's finally distracted. This is where Swerve Strickland got in with that ball fist chain around his hand. This is where then he came in, hits the chain right in the back of Bobby Lashley. That's where he did more of a number than what he did to him in the parking lot. This is where the MVP then came out. Came up right up on the apron. He gets hit with a right hand to the face onto the with the with the ball full of the chain on his fist. This is where he knocked him out. Like he's like, this is for me, Bobby. This is for Prince Nana Montel, and this is for both me and Prince Nana Shelton. When Shelton Benjamin went right to the left side, hits him with a right hand. That's where Swerve Strickland and let go of that was around his hands. That was wrapped around his hand to be the exact. This is where then this is where Swerve Strickland was staring deadly at the Almighty and former world champion. This is where he's like, I'm gonna let you know whose house it is. This is where then he hits him with the house call to for some strong measure, I guess you could say, on the up ahead to getting some advantage. Not like the other company. But this is where the Swerve Strickland then was not done yet with the steal the deal into this brawling segment. This is where then we got. This is where then he hits the double swerve foot stomp right into the face on the Bobby Lashley to make sure he was down, and out, before the match. This is where fans start chanting Swerve's house, whose house, Swerve's house. And as much as I like to hear that sound, I just don't want to hear it on here. This is where then. This is where he did a handstand flip when MVP tried to swing him with his little cane scepter, but this is where he was so fast. He did a handstand flip cartwheel out of the ring, and he went over the top rope. I don't know how Swerve does this. Like, he's too used to into the wrestling business for doing that. Like, he must do that all the time when he's training in the square circle, or something like that. But this is where Bobby Lashley, Swerve Strickland, and they brought back up as well to say, "Come back here, you coward!" And this is where Swerve Strickland, as much as I would like to beat every single one of you, like I just did, I decide I'm gonna spare y'all until the next 4 days. I guess, or 3 days. Yeah, 3 days because given it's Wednesday, so yeah. But this is where Bobby Lashley, this is where Shelton Benjamin was like, Bobby will take care of you, and we will make an example out of you. For those that decline our offer of the Hurt Syndicate, this is where Swerve Strickland, go ahead, try to do your best. I'll be waiting in the next 72 hours, until then. This is where Swerve Strickland was and this is where he pointed the sign at AEW Full. Like I said, he's gonna see them there. This is where then. And this is where then we got Marie start bragging about their celebration, in an interview with Renee Paquette afterwards. She was saying I'm gonna celebrate my greatest AEW Women's Championship, and when my latest challenger and victim Anna Jay, I just made an example out of her, and also and I'm going to be forever the AEW Women's Champion. There's nobody going to stop me. This is where they show Mina Shirakawa, as much as I don't really want to talk much about her, because she's a complete creep to Super Ninja Austin. But, yeah, this is where then she started looking not so enthusiastic when Mariah May started talking about that. And I was wondering, what's the reason why that she's not so enthusiastic about Mariah May's title celebration, which we're going to be talking about in just a sec. But this is where they got Mariah May to claim that she's going to make it shine anytime, any show, and anyone that, in this case, when you fight the glamour, you either wear this strap or you die. And I'm is that supposed to be an attempted murder threat, or what's the purpose of you saying that? I should say, what's the the penalty? What's exactly the punishment? If you don't try to defeat you for the women's championship, ain't that a crime? Even in wrestling, but this is where we got Mina Shirakawa trying to be the peacemaker, trying to calm her down because she's starting to take this a little too far. And just my sister's been working so hard, and she was I just cannot wait for this Saturday. And it was the reason why I came here tonight is to tell her I'm absolutely proud of her. I watch her every single week. She's been doing nothing but successful stuff. She was and that's why I scheduled her a celebration. And I talked to Anthony Khan about that. And then this word that she was yeah. And then it's gonna be a huge celebration that no one's not gonna forget. And I was it's and you're the one that's saying it, so we definitely gonna be listening to you because it's gonna be definitely a huge 18+ show, but I get just to take my advice, Anthony Khan, don't let most wrestlers do whatever they want because they probably take that out of context and do actually everything what they want to do, even if it's inappropriate. They'll do it. But anyways, this is where then we got then this is where to start turning to if it's a 18+ show by saying we're gonna be doing our TIT wiggle shakes. That's where they start wiggling their TITs, and that's all melt my eyes. I'm like, oh my eyes, oh God, like stop, like I cannot take this anymore. Like what's y'all's purpose of doing this? And this where then. It is where we got what's her name? What's her name? Renee Paquette. The one thing I agree on with her is they like, oh really? Like, and this with a sarcastic voice, like, here we go again, like with them, with their celebration shimmies, like with them, shimmying the TITs, which I understand what's the point of doing that, just like with them hanging out with Thomas Tony Storm a bit too much in the past, of course, but now they're not hanging out with her, at least in wrestling, like they're. All right, but yeah, like I'm just not, quite of a fan of this, like with what they're doing, like with that. But anyway, this is where we got Darby Allin then came out. This is where then he got up on the top of the upper left corner side. This is where he waited for the Swiss Cyborg, like came out, which he's 1/3 of the trios champion, Claudio Castagnoli. And yeah, this was totally good, like just like the Kristen Statlander versus the Carl Shido match that. With Claudio getting sort of offensive by hitting him with a European uppercut, Darby Allin landed right to the bottom corner side, is where he did try to get himself back up after that dangerous, brutal brawl, him into a back belly position. That's where he tried to go for a schoolboy, but this is where we got Claudio Castagnoli, then kicks out, flip right out of it, and where then Darby Allin's like, oh, like I should have known that you're going to be doing all that. This is where then we got Darby Allin to try to go for arm grappling, but this is where fans are saying, "Let's go, Darby!" And I'm like, I want Darby Allin to win this too, to make a statement to to Claudio's master that brainwash and mind controlled him with his dirty, filthy, disgusting water from Cincinnati, from the most filthiest and the most germy and unsanitary city in all of America. But anyway, this is where we got. This is where we got Darby Allin to go for a headlock onto Claudio Castagnoli, but this is where he picks him right up, pushes him right to the bottom corner rope. This is where Darby go for a flying arm drag. I'm like, dang, that was pretty impressive. This is where then he sends him right to the top corner rope. Darby Allin's like, all right, like I'm gonna give him a little bit of a breather when referee was like, all right, stay in now stay in the ring. This is where Darby Allin was thinking otherwise. This is where we got Darby Allin. He started punching the canvas. And this is where then we got Claudio Castagnoli. I should have known about that trick. This is where then he put his fingers up in his eyes. This is where then we got Darby Allin's like, oh, you're giving up now. This is where we got Claudio's like, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. This is where Darby Allin's like, oh, but it seems like this is where we got Darby Allin. And then dodged out of an attack of his, is where he landed right into the rolling right up in the upper left corner side. Clark tried to hit one of his attack moves. He doesn't know what to hit in particular. He gets elbow strike right into the back, elbow strike right into the face by Darby Allin. This is where he tried to jump on top of him, but he gets caught by Claudio. He slams him to the ground, trying to go for a Claudio swing, but this is where we got Darby Allin get flip right, where he hits a back and belly maneuver onto Swiss. But this is where we get Claudio trying to hang on to the rope, but he ends up getting hit ropes, hit a springboard crossbody. That's where he landed right on top of him. That's where we got Claudio Castagnoli then roll out of the way. This is where we got Darby Allin. He hits a coffin drop right onto the Claudio Castagnoli, but Claudio Castagnoli hanging on to him, spins him around, hits the Claudio swing. This is where then they But as well, they got Claudio Castagnoli go for a shoulder tackle right on the Darby Allin, right to the upper right corner side. He made him land back first, right onto the barricade. This is where he followed that up with a European uppercut, flying, swinging European uppercut out of nowhere. Just sliding right to the face, making him do a backflip. This is where then Darby Allin went right into the audience. He carries himself back up, gets back into the ring, but this is where Claudio Castagnoli like, oh, you don't give up yet? This is where then Claudio Castagnoli like, oh, but I will make you give up. This is where we got the Swiss Cyborg going for a suplex. This is where we got he got him up like so impressively, what's that called? Like so impressive. Like he picks him up, pushes him right, and he even pick up the aquatic sea mammals, I should say. But this is where we got Claudio Castagnoli then came back in the ring, like and getting ready to put away Darby Allin for the win. This is where we saw Claudio Castagnoli's like, well, what should I do? Which you just where he just try to go for the gut wrench suplex is where he turned into like a gut breaker or a gut buster, even though they were in the picture-in-picture break, which I believe that's partially the most powerful force in all of pro wrestling. Like at least 50% of it, like because we still can see the match, even though it's on a little bit of a picture-in-picture break. This is where we got Claudio Castagnoli trying to pick up after slamming Darby around a bit in the ring. This is where he tried to kick him right in the gut, but this is where he gets kneed right into the midsection. This is where he tossed the former TNT Castagnoli, picking up Darby Allin. This is where then he picks him up. This is where then he goes for flipping him over his finishing maneuver. Like that's not going to be it, like nor ever will be. This is where Claudio try to go for a swing, but this is where Darby, what's that called? Like a head scissoring, like corkscrew slash wheelbarrow into a pin. Is where it was. You kind of hit the most devastating move in all the professional wrestling. But this is where we got Claudio Castagnoli to kick out of it at 2.8. This is where Darby Allin takes out the clothesline. Go to the left side. This is where he try to go for an arm flip. Goes for a leg flip into a hurricane runner. But this is where he picks him up, try to go for a power bomb. This is where he landed right onto his back. This is where we got Claudio Castagnoli. Then was down on his down with Darby Allin. This is where we got. This is where we got Claudio Castagnoli got out of the ring. This is where he picks up Darby Allin. This is where we got him running in right to center the steel steps in the upper right side. This is where we got Claudio Castagnoli. And not only did that, he also threw this is where he threw, what's his name, say about him, but this is where Matt Menard said something that was absolutely true to him, which I totally forgot what it was. He shot like, he said something about him, but he's like, you need to get the hell out of here. This is where Claudio Castagnoli to try to insult him right back by saying, in response to going Darby Allin right towards him, but luckily Matt Menard got out of the way, but he lost his headset right to the corner in the concrete floor. It's where Tony Schiavone's like, I'm not sure if it's better or worse, but I'm the only guy that has my headset on. Like, and where then this got Claudio Castagnoli knocking everything off the announcer's table. This is where then he picks up Darby Allin. This is where he got to put him right through it by hitting like I was holding up the ring bell. Here's what fans are chanting, "Holy sugar on the iced tea," uncensored. Darby Allin do a 360, try to go for a pin, which he did. Got Darby Allin with the 1, 2, 3. And as much as I don't want to, members of was in a backstage interview with the AEW Tag Team Champions Private Party. Like saying some sense, but announcement like later, like right in front of a threat. So I guess that he's off the hook of like his word. We got Renee because like this Saturday you will be facing QT Marshall on the 0 Hour show, and he was like, yeah, and they here making to come this word. We got Big Boom AJ's like. And this was like, yeah, like you're not concerned about that. Well, I am concerned. Like it's one strategy. Like it's the same strategy. And we have each and every day. Like it's the arena. Boom! By flexing his muscles with his son. Big Boom Justice is where then it was like like and that is what it is. Justice. And he was like, I'm talking to you, Max. And this is where he started screaming right in front of the camera, which is Max. Like if you were here, like I'm not supposed to be ashamed and with him questioning the sort of neglectful abuse. Mention me like when they know for me like being being as a person, they're gonna pay for all those sins like Chris Statlander is. Well, he didn't say anything about the born again Christian, but I'm just trying to add that like everybody strong could pay, but not to me. But yeah, precisely, and with him agreeing with his undisputed kingdom leader, this is where the like that'll be all over, and I'm gonna be walking to my hotel room for the best night of sleep of my life. And I haven't got a good sleep in over a week in 7 days, and this is where we got right strong. I'm not. And this is what Bryce was like, and also knowing that I broke your back, Maxwell, and I left you humble. And this is what Bryce Strong raised his hand by shouting to the audience, yeah, like that's what exactly what I'm be doing. And this is when Bryce Strong took off his deck. And this is when Bryce Strong's like, yeah, Max, I will break you. Take care of that narcissistic SOB. So about what's your reason why you want to attack my kayfabe daddy Magic Man? Like. right way and try to win the AEW TNT. I wonder why. Like maybe called himself a messiah. Now he's no longer one. At the other company, Daniel Garcia like as Matt Menard said, and this where he's like, and this where he's like, and why are you smiling? Why are you so damn excited about? And this where the Jack Perry like, yeah. Like I'm so excited to a box. This where he was like I'm laughing. Like, well, I should say like he wasn't doing a sad kind of cry. He was more like, oh, like yeah, he's scared. Like Magic's like, no, Danny, where you're going? This is where we got this is where give it the silver trophy of the night for his legal team, like to prove like to me the stuff. Like, I understand where's Renee Paquette's head's going. Like, it's getting worse. Like, maybe she drunk that this city that they were located at tonight. This is where I started cracking up. Like, yeah, what a cool guy. Like, what? Like, he's like, what? Like, what? Went right on the top of the stairs where Chris Jericho's like, well, it's where he's not going to be followed by the pro wrestling tees, and maybe even where Mark Brits, the J Driller, I believe, onto what it's called. Like, that's where the Stone Pitbull, like, slams him right into the head, like, boom, right into that. Oh, my God. And I'm so excited. And what's your opinion about this match? Who do you think is going to win? I assume is going to be the teacher of the learning tree. Dude, like, I used to be my own canoe. But if you want to have a chat, like, but at the same time, not debut. What's the debut? Her return. Like, when's she going to be making that return? Like, do you think it will be this Saturday or next Wednesday? When it, like that was to the Pillow herself. It was for her losing, like after she made Julia Hart did win the final match at a bigger event, maybe in a pay-per-view, maybe like at World's End. Let me know in the comments, like what kind of rivalry do you want to see out of these three women? But anyway, this is where we got Orange Cassidy coming out against Willa Yuta, his former protege. And this is where we got the match started off with, let's see, with them grappling around each other. This is where we got Willa Yuta trying to kick like Master Mox. As much as he's right in the gut, but this is where then he turn around, try to go for a back suplex. But this is where we got Orange Cassidy. And this is where Orange Cassidy did right to the top corner rope, onto him in the middle of the ring, to the bottom corner ropes. This is where we got Orange Cassidy then hit a suicida right onto Willa Yuta, hit similar to steel stabs. He gets instantly back. That plan instantly got backfired. This is where we got Willa Yuta through his section. Then a swift kick right to the head. This is where he then sat down right to the bottom kick. This is where we got like back in the game. This is where then breaking the fingers right onto the. But this is where we got what's name was about to hit the maneuver that. But this is where Orange Cassidy tried to hit the maneuver that he'll never hit yours truly with, and that is the Orange Punch. But this is where we got Willa Yuta ducks out of the way, went right to the right side. This is where we got Orange Cassidy just and that's how pretty much a Dynamite pretty much ended. Like, and I want to ask you, assassinaires, what is your notification bell for more? Who's gonna be winning in the match? Possibly walking out as champion. Much as exciting game coming on. Well, I'll tell you, even though I won't be doing a review, if I did, I'll be doing Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. Unfortunately, I won't be doing that right now. From the, I'll say, let's see, in that awful city in